Due to the graphic nature of this program, viewer discretion is advised.
Get them on IV fluid.
Milwaukee Emergency Center for Animals Television is brought to you by HAWS, the Humane Animal Welfare Society of Waukesha County, leading the community in animal welfare and assuring sanctuary for animals in need. Metropolitan Fence, we're always on the level. And Camp Bow Wow, premier doggy day and overnight camps.
So this is Sadie. Sadie's around 2 years old. And she ate a string off of a loofah today. So that's what we're going in for.
Smile for the camera.
All right, cutting. Okay. So right now I'm putting in stay sutures so I can actually hold the stomach up and out of the abdomen since I don't have a friend to do that for me. So then you pull up and the stomach comes out. So then I'm gonna be cutting right along here to hopefully get some whatever is in there out of there. Keeps on coming. Wow.
Yeah, that was the whole thing.
So you should always go in and check, just obviously to make sure you got everything out of there. And this is all just food in here. So the stomach, what we do is we're gonna close it in 2 different layers. So this inside layer first and then this outside layer. It's gonna help with healing, and also because the stomach obviously is an acidic environment, everything that we're gonna close inward is gonna get broken down by the stomach, so it gives us a little bit of an extra security blanket to make sure that we don't have anything opening up that we don't want to. So hopefully we're closing up the stomach right now. Hopefully if I don't find anything else in the small intestine, or if all the organs look pretty good, which I suspect this will be, he's a young cat and this was the only known foreign body, then it should be fine. A very tight abdomen. So Sadie over here is recovering from her surgery. When she came in, the owners basically knew that she had eaten the string off of a loofah, so probably about 9 inches long. And one of the few times that they saw her eat it, they knew she ate it, and honestly, they knew she probably wouldn't pass it. So they gave the go-ahead for surgery. Surgery for Sadie. The string was indeed in there, found in the stomach, pulled it out pretty easily. Sadie was relatively stable throughout the procedure. She also, as you can probably see in there, she is already woken up. She woke up very, very quickly from surgery and is doing pretty well now. So it's just a matter of keeping her warm, keeping her pain-free, and getting her through the healing process.
Milwaukee Emergency Center for Animals Television is brought to you by HAWS, the Humane Animal Welfare Society of Waukesha County. Metropolitan Fence, we're always on the level. And Camp Bow Wow, premier doggy day and overnight camps. And now, a word from our sponsors.
Welcome to Camp Bow Wow in Waukesha, the premier doggy day and overnight camp where a dog can be a dog. Our campers play all day in our 4 large indoor and 4 outdoor play yards. Watch your pup from anywhere in the world at our high-speed camper cams. Our certified camp counselors, spacious cabins with comfy cots, pup pools, and outdoor play equipment ensure that your pup has a great time. We're open 365 days per year for your convenience. Stop in for a tour and book a reservation for your dog's free day of camp. Visit campbowwow.com/Waukesha or call 547-WOOF for more information.
At Metropolitan Fence, we have been keeping your children and pets safe in southeastern Wisconsin for over 27 years. We offer a full line of residential and commercial fencing, from vinyl, wood, ornamental, and chain link. For a free estimate, please call us at 262-547-6001 or visit us online at metrofence.biz. And remember, we are always on the level.
The Humane Animal Welfare Society of Waukesha is so much more than a shelter. Our adoption staff, animal caregivers, and behavior department ensure the best possible adoptive companion. Our spay-neuter programs actively combat pet overpopulation in our area, and our animal rescue team safely returns lost pets back home. PAWS does one-on-one consultations, holds a variety of training classes and seminars, and even hosts camps for kids. Our shelter is and always has been open admissions and full service, providing resources for pets and their people for a happy lifetime together. PAWS, we're building a society that's humane.
Boarding, grooming, training, and more. When it comes to your pet, Animal Motel is their home away from home. At Animal Motel, we offer a top-of-the-line facility with boarding suites for both dogs and cats, outdoor play yards, a training hall, and so much more. Whether they're here for obedience training, grooming, or an extended stay, we promise your dog and cat will be part of our family. Animal Motel, personalized care for your precious pets.
Looking to get some training for your dog? For Pet's Sake is your one-stop dog training center. We offer all-inclusive obedience training, canine sports training, specialty classes, and more. We provide training classes in 3 convenient locations with our main facility in Mugwanago, which boasts a fully matted 5,200 square foot training hall. While in Mugwanago, check out our Bichon Buddy Rescue and take home your new pet. Bichon and Little Buddies Rescue takes in Bichons, other small dog breeds, and cats that need to be rehomed for various reasons.
Hey Lily, this is such a cool case. When she had come in with Lily, she came in with her in the car and they had to call a stat triage, so that means they come running out there, and they ran out to the car, asked her what was wrong, and she said her dog was collapsed. And so they ran, got a gurney, put her on the gurney, and came right in the back. And that's when I met them in the back and said, what's going on with this, with the dog? And they said, oh, the owner doesn't know, just found her collapsed this morning and doesn't have any other history. So we started looking at her and realized that she had blood in her abdominal cavity and in her chest cavity, so we were a little confused. We thought, well, maybe it's like a tumor that had ruptured, or some kind of tumor in a chest cavity, and we started doing an ultrasound and an echocardiogram, and I mean, this is within seconds. And then I didn't really find anything, and I was thinking to myself, what could this be? Walked in the room, and I said to her, I said, is there any possibility, because it just flashed through my head that bleeding into the chest and the abdomen, this could be warfarin poisoning or rat poisoning. And I walked in the room and I said to her, is there any possibility? And at first she said, I don't think so. And then she thought, well, I guess there's a and I just dashed out and I said, all right, I'm gonna run and we're gonna start treatment. She said, do anything that you can do. I walked down the corridor and found them, they had already intubated her because she died. So she basically crashed on the table, and then Ethan, one of our technicians, started doing chest compressions to try to bring her heart back because she had basically no heartbeat and she wasn't breathing. And they started, and I asked, I said, oh my gosh, she died? And they said, yeah. They were hooking up an EKG. I ran back in the room and I told her, your dog has died. I'm very sorry. We're starting CPR. She goes, do whatever you can do. I brought her back there just to look at the dog. And of course, you fell to pieces. You know, seeing your dog getting CPR, that was unbelievable.
Very traumatic to see and hear.
Yeah.
The dog
in shock.
Yeah, it was.
She couldn't believe.
Very difficult.
And so I took her back in the room, and I have to split the owner from the dog right then because we wanted to proceed on. We got the EKG hooked up, and we gave her some atropine, which is a drug that increases your heart rate, and epinephrine, which increases your heart. And then we were able to get her back. We continued with CPR. We stopped the chest compressions, but we continued getting an IV and getting fluids going and everything. Then I jumped back in the room and I said, I think this is warfarin. And I said, we got her back, but that doesn't mean anything. Even though she didn't realize, I didn't tell her until later, I said only 1% of the animals that come into this hospital and need CPR do they ever walk out of this hospital. So she's
I couldn't believe it. At one point, I walked in and she was receiving chest compressions, and then literally 10 to 15 seconds later, they had her back and she was sitting up on the table. Of course, not out of the clear at that point, but very much alive. So it was an emotional roller coaster. I mean, at one point I was just hysterical,
right.
Really. And then to have it completely turn around and be able to bring her home and care for her at home is
and she kept coming
amazing
back
story.
in that whole day and looking in the cage. Yeah, she's still there.
3 visits, I think, that first day. I came back 3 times just to, how's she doing now? And it was very good. And then, of course, the last day I had to bring treats for all of
Yes, she did.
all the staff.
Yes,
so.
thank you very much.
Yeah.
So I'm glad now that she's normal. And today we'll get an EKG, and just to make sure she doesn't have any more ventricular beats.
Great.
And if that's normal, then you'll just continue the vitamin K
Yep, she's been
for
doing
30
well
days. And
that. And we
good.
got some color in her gums.
Good.
So,
Perfect.
Yeah.
This is Keiko. Keiko is a 42-year-old, unknown if it's a male or female, Amazon, that it's a blue front, as you see, that's got a blue right over the top of its nares. And he originally presented about 6 months ago. They had him on not a very good diet, just mostly seeds. And for 42 years, that would be like you eating McDonald's hamburgers for 42 years. So, and only McDonald's hamburgers, and you would look pretty in poor condition too. So he had, I'm calling him a he because we're assuming, and he had, his feathers were in very poor shape. He had an upper respiratory sinus infection, and when birds get a sinus infection, their nasal passages are so extensive in a bird that if they get an infection in there, unlike us, we just have 2 sides to our nose, and the sinuses go back and then become the trachea, go right into the trachea, whereas in birds, the sinuses go up and under the eyes and then back and into more sinus areas. So their sinus cavity is very extensive and connected by little tiny holes, so that the connection between them, that once an infection gets in there and the bacteria grows, it becomes very, very extensive and difficult to get rid of. The bird responded to the antibiotics, and we flushed out the nose several times. And then he went home and did very well. The people then changed the diet, changed the conditions of the bird, and the bird became completely back to normal. Then they went they went on vacation for 2 months, and they had somebody watching the bird who wasn't taking as good of care as they were, and the bird became sick again. So it re-presented yesterday with all caked over nasal area. In other words, he couldn't breathe and he was very raspy, was actually having a difficulty breathing, went off his food, wasn't eating well, and looked really bad again with a sinus infection. So we did a nasal flush yesterday. We took his nasal area and we flushed out all that junk, and we're going to do it once more again today. All right, so we're going to put him in a towel first, and maybe get the water out of there, huh, Ethan? Just so he doesn't, he's mad. He's in a very nice warm incubator, so, and now we're going to bring him out, and he knows we're going to do something to him. And And they can bite, so you have to be, you have to know what you're doing when you're handling a bird, because they're very feisty. And if you see on him, his, don't you bite me? Can you get it set up just a little bit more? There we go. So this is his nares, his opening of his nasal passages. And they were all clogged up yesterday. And then his eyes are a little bit weepy, as you can see. This one is a little bit worse and a little bit puffy around the eyes. They actually caught it a lot earlier this time than last time. His beak is not in very good shape. It's kind of scaly a little bit here on the edges and scaly around here and a little bit swollen. So that's just from him, again, not being on a very good diet, getting a sinus infection. So the sinuses actually are extensive. They go up and over inside the head and then come down along the in back of the eyes, both sides, and then continue down the neck on both sides. So once you get an infection there, it's hard to get rid of. So what we're going to do is we turn his body upside down, and then I come with the syringe and put it right into the nares. And then the fluid comes out of his nose, and once it comes out of his both sides, out of the nose and into the mouth, we know that it's patent. So it's opened up then at that point, and it looks a lot clearer than it did yesterday. Yesterday it was all filled with mucus. So they have a coena, which is an opening inside of the mouth. If you want to turn them this way, Ethan. So right at the top here, inside the mouth, is an opening, a little hole there, where their nares communicates with the inside of the mouth. And that's where it's coming out. So that's a good sign that we were able to get a clear discharge. And then if you see, his feather growth is not very good too. He's getting all new feathers in, but it's kind of disheveled type look, unkept. He's in better shape than he was last time, so now they're going to have to get him back in order, get him cleared up. They come in here, we give the antibiotics for them because they are not able to get it into him. And we'll start him on antibiotics today. And then he also goes home on meds that go on his eyes. Put a little ointment in his eyes. As you can see, not everybody can work on birds because if you don't know what you're doing, that beak could cut off my finger, for sure. Right, Ethan? Ethan knows too. So, if you don't hold them exactly right with your fingers underneath their neck, if you see how his hands are wrapped around his neck, and then holding him back so that he can't bend his neck and grab a hold of you. If you hold them without good grasp on around their neck, they'll turn their beak around and grab a hold of your hand and it's gone. Your finger would be laying on the floor, on the ground.
Because you love him completely, because he is part of your family. When your pet needs emergency care, you want the very best trauma and critical care specialist standing by. You know there's only one place you can trust and always count on.
I thank Mega and Dr. Dale Crescent for the medical care for Bailey.
Dr. Crescent and I are very happy that we were able to provide medical care for Bailey and all the other Milwaukee Brewer player pets.
At Metropolitan Fence, we have been keeping your children and pets safe in southeastern Wisconsin for over 27 years. We offer a full line of residential and commercial fencing, from vinyl, wood, ornamental, and chain link. For a free estimate, please call us at 262-547-6001 or visit us online at metrofence.biz. And remember, we are always on the level.
For over a decade, Fetch magazine has examined the unique bond humans have with their canine companions by publishing popular dog-related topics. With a strong commitment to dogs in need, Fetch also prints local adoptables in each issue, supplies affordable advertising to businesses, and gives rescues 30% off of ads. This year, Fetch is offering $15 subscriptions for your convenience. For more information, visit www.fetchmag.com or pick up your free copy at a local pet establishment near you. Go Fetch!
There's been a lot of excitement at Haas this year, from newsworthy animal rescues to helping everyday people adopt a new family member. We at Haas know we couldn't do it without the help of people like you. Help us continue our success in fulfilling our animals' needs by donating to the Haas Two-Step Project. By making a general donation and pledging to donate toward our much-needed future expansion, you help us continue the Haas mission of helping animals in need. Log on to haaspets.org and donate today.
Humane Animal Welfare Society.
This is Charlie, and Charlie is a lop-eared rabbit, and he presented yesterday with, from actually as a referral, his tongue is, he had an allergic reaction, and his tongue was all swollen and not in his mouth, actually, it was sticking out. We've given him medication for the allergic reaction, as well as antibiotics, and it's not something that can be seen on camera, but there's a swelling under here that is going to take some time to go away. We have a tube in Charlie's nose right here. Here's a yellow piece. This is the end. It's called a nasogastric tube, and this goes right into the nose and down into the esophagus so that we can feed Charlie while his tongue is healing. So one of the concerns that we have with Charlie is that although an allergic reaction and swollen tongue aren't typically fatal once treated, the sores and cuts on the tongue from biting the tongue, and actually he has a piece of the tongue where there's a little flap which will likely fall off. He may get an infection, unfortunately, and we hope that doesn't happen. So we're treating with a good antibiotic, and hopefully he will make it. But there is a chance that he may not pull through this.
Today's show was brought to you by Haas, the Humane Animal Welfare Society of Waukesha County, leading the community in animal welfare and assuring sanctuary for animals in need. Metropolitan Fence, we're always on the level. And Camp Bow Wow, premier doggy day and overnight camps.